Wine and Crime contains graphic and explicit content which may not be suitable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
Flash news coming at you. Wine and Crime Coven, we have a couple of live shows coming up in Chicago on February 10th and 11th, 2023. Our show on Saturday the 11th at City Winery in Chicago is actually sold out already.
You people are crazy.
Yeah, you guys, it's sold out in like 36 hours. I feel like Mick Jagger. Is very exciting.
It's incredible.
But we added this second show, so if you still have time, grab a ticket for Friday, February 10th at Talia Hall in Chicago. Don't miss out. I think there are like 50 tickets left for that show, so scurry on over.
Absolutely. The doors are at 7. The show starts at 8, so snag your tickets right now at wineandcrimepodcast.com under that events tab, and we will see you in Chicago.
Chicago in February. What could be better? You are listening to Wine and Crime, the podcast where three friends chug wine, chat true crime, and unleash their worst Minnesotan accents.
Oh, golly gee.
And dance moves.
Do a little
and
jig.
unleash their most interpretive dance.
Woo!
Step up to the streets.
The pod.
The podcast.
My cousin was an extra and step up to the streets.
I almost said that, but knew that you would, so I let you say
I
it.
didn't have to. He's had like a full career
But
since
knew that
then.
you
I know,
would.
but that's still your number one.
I bring it up all the time, and he's like been a lead on like a CW show. Like
yeah,
he's
and
like been
all
in
I
movies.
did was like walk around in the background of that set. Why
Yeah.
are you so obsessed with
He's
this?
like a
Why are
fleet.
you
You
so
can like
obsessed with
barely
me?
see
Why
him fleeting
so
extra.
obsessed with me?
Whatever.
Anyway, who are you?
I'm proud. I'm Kenyan. I'm sick. It's not COVID. I feel like death warmed over. It's fine.
God bless.
I'm Lucy, and I have that thing that lingers for months, so I too still feel like death warmed over. 2023 is going to be great.
Yeah, we're getting it all out now, and then we're gonna start 2023 feeling good.
Because today, as we record, is New Year's Eve.
It sure
It is. And all of us are figuring out how we can be in bed by 9.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, 8.
I feel quite well, so let's not jinx it.
Yeah.
I want to be in bed at 8 p.m. with a bowl of pasta.
Yeah.
That's how I want to end 2022.
Oh my God, that
Mhm.
sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like lots of oil on my face.
So much
Yeah,
oil. And
all
like my
the oil.
diffuser going.
Mhm.
Yep.
Good lighting.
And like some sort of stupid, mindless television show crooning in the background as I drift away.
with my galaxy light, my nebula.
Yeah. I love that galaxy light you got.
We gotta
My-
go. I don't have much time
Yeah.
to
You're
make
right.
my
Let's,
pasta.
okay, great. Well, that said, let's do
That
this.
said, as we're preparing for New Year's Eve for the ball drop, we
That's so
have
gross.
a very the ball drop.
The ball
I
drop.
hate that phrase. I always think of like puberty. It's disgusting. I know.
Now I'm just picturing what's his name, not Ed McMahon. Who's the guy that did the New Year's Eve party? For
Now
a
that
long
you've
time?
said
Anderson
Ed McMahon,
Cooper.
Before him, you know, the guy.
Ryan Seacrest,
Before him, the OG guy.
Johnny Carson.
Oh my God.
Was
New
it ever? I
Year's
think it was
Eve
always Ed McMahon,
host.
and then everyone else.
Dick
Yeah.
Clark.
Casey Kasem,
Dick Clark.
Oh, Dick,
Dick
Clark.
Clark. I
Mhm.
forgot he existed.
Yeah. Anyway,
bad.
that's the best kind of joke when you have to Google the name of the person you're referencing.
Yeah, that's how you know it landed. Yeah, yeah.
Woo! Okay.
That's good.
So we have a very special gals pick.
Kenyon's pick.
I picked this. Forgot
good
I picked
pick.
it.
Again, you'll know mine when we get to it.
Yeah. But I am a bit of a prepper myself.
I've
So-
seen that. That what do we call
Pantry.
it? Pantry. I almost said cabinet of curiosities. Pantry of yours.
Yeah.
It's
It's
big.
only gotten more robust.
Oh, if the apocalypse is like coming, I'm going to your house.
Yeah,
that
would be smart.
That would be brilliant.
You'll have medicine for the rest of your life.
I have everything you could need for like at least 6 months.
You should just get a prescription somehow for insulin and just start stockpiling it. Because unopened, it lasts a long time.
Yeah.
Don't you have to keep it in the fridge?
Yeah, you can keep it in the fridge,
got
but
a
we
wine
could just get a
fridge.
little mini fridge. We could, they also, life pro
You won't
tip,
have power.
Oh, yeah.
not if I get, not if I hook up some sort of bicycle generator.
I do. Oh, God. I tried on a new sweater and it does not breathe and I am burning up. Hold on.
Oh,
one second.
no. Okay, take it off. John, don't cut this.
Kenyon undresses to some extent,
Every episode.
or just breasts
girl.
are prevalent.
Okay.
There she is.
Let them out.
All right.
Let those puppies out.
Sorry. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, I totally want to get a generator. Like,
Yeah.
I do not need one, but I want one.
I'm actually
You don't need
shocked
one till you need
don't
one.
have one. Yeah.
Right.
Honestly, maybe during Lucy's segment, you should get on the internet and start doing some
Yeah.
shopping. Yeah.
Well, during my segment, I have quite a grocery list for you as well. So
I feel like this is going to be perfect. You're really, Kenya's going to spend $5,000 today.
yeah.
Perfect. Just what I need. So I don't know if we even fucking said it, but
All
our
right.
topic is Doomsday Preppers. Woo!
Didn't even say it yet.
We're fine.
Yay!
It's fine.
We're prepping
Amanda.
for the end of this podcast, you guys. Just kidding. No, we're not. We have no other plans. So please keep listening.
We're ruined.
Okay.
What is our wine crime pairing for Doomsday Preppers?
I am very excited about my little boozy corner today. First, I want to just let everyone know that I am not drinking today. It specifically and intentionally because this was my first day taking a new ADHD medication. And so I am not drinking or using any cannabis today because I want to make sure I can tell any and all effects, good or bad, from these meds. So I'm personally just drinking plain sparkling water. But I really wanted to know more about the shelf life of alcohol, and I was inspired to look into this because of this topic. So I'm going to read a little bit of information I found from a website called Binwise to clear up some Q's with A's. And then I do have a cocktail recommendation that I am going to give at the end of this with a great recipe that is super, super, super easy so that folks can still enjoy some libations while I do not.
Nice.
So the first main question, does liquor expire? Unopened liquor has an indefinite shelf life. So essentially that means no, like if it's not open, it can last basically forever. If it's open, liquor lasts about a year or two, depending on the booze, before it goes bad, meaning it starts losing its color and flavor. So liquor going bad is different from like cheese going bad. They recommend not using liquor for drinks if you won't use the whole bottle within 2 years. We don't have that problem. But like expired, quote unquote, heavy quotes, liquor does not generally become toxic. Like it doesn't become unsafe to drink. It just gets kind of gross.
Right. Wine, obviously, different than liquor.
Yeah, I'm only talking about liquor specifically.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Does the sugar content matter? Like if it's like a peach schnapps versus like Everclear?
After it's open, yes. While it is sealed, no. Because we'll kind of get to it, but the only thing that contributes to the deterioration of it is oxidation.
Oh, okay.
So if it's not getting any oxidation, then it might not like age well for fucking ever and ever and ever, but it's not going to be like inedible after, if you want to age schnapps for 10 years, honey, in your bunker, if you want to put schnapps in your bunker, there's actually putting liquor in your bunker is a really good move. And I will explain why in a few minutes here.
We have mini
So will
liquor
I.
bottles in our tornado shelter kit.
Got to.
Nice.
As always, this says use your common sense. If you see anything suspicious in your old liquor, like mold, floaters, like something in there that's not looking right, just toss it. Don't risk it. checking to make sure your liquor has not expired is a valuable part of duties for like a bartender. So at opening and closing, they will check open bottles to make sure that they aren't cloudy or have impurities, stuff like that, just so that the next day
They're starting fresh.
they're starting with good booze and they're not going to serve people nasty drinks. But like, especially well liquor, which is at the highest risk of quote unquote expiring after like a year, that shit's not lasting at a bar more than like 2 days. So it's not really that big of a deal.
Unless the bar has bigger problems.
Exactly. So why does liquor go bad? This is what makes liquor go bad. Like I said, there are 3 main factors that can affect the quality of liquor over time: light, temperature, and air, which also has to do with like the different colors of bottles of liquor that you'll get. So like Bailey's, for example,
Dark
which
bottle.
is it's always in a like matte black bottle because it's not like dairy, but it does have like, it's like an Irish cream.
Yeah.
So they do not want any light getting in there to fuck with it, because that will, kind of fuck up
The Bailey.
like compromise.
longevity.
So it's good that on the bottom shelf of my bar, farther from the window, is where I keep like the
Clear
Baileys
bottles.
and the Kahlua and
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't want that in direct sunlight, not necessarily because of light exposure, because those bottles already take care of that for you, but because of heat. You don't want the bottles to heat up. So if they're sitting in the sun, like, you don't want your bar at your house to be like in a big window
or like near the fireplace.
or near the fireplace or
near, like, a
over
register.
heating, a register, or like over
radiator.
a heating grate or radiator. Yep. Yep. It's cool, dry place. This is like very, very key, which is why a bunker is such a fucking awesome place to store your liquor.
Do you guys
So
want to
wha-
hear? Oh, sorry.
No, go
Do you
ahead.
want to hear a really
Interject.
gross story?
Obviously,
Always.
the
I
whole
might have
point
said-
of this show.
That's
might
the
have said this before.
entire show is a really gross story.
So my cousin Jen might be listening. Hi, Jen. She and I lived together for like a year and a half, but one of those summers was it Kenyon when we went on our summer trip to Europe or something? I was gone like all summer. And we had rented this apartment that she stayed in, but I didn't because I was gone. And it was like half underground, basement-y. And we had a problem with, do you know what silverfish are?
Yes, those like little
the butt-
roly-poly
the butt
fuckers.
pincher ones that have like the big pinchers on the front.
No.
And they're really fast.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Gross.
No.
So I had like moved my shit in, one item of which was a bottle of triple sec because I was really into making Cosmos in my apartment at the time.
of course.
Yeah,
Yep.
duh.
We were at that age.
Yes.
Being underage.
Yep. We were 19.
It had a bartender's spout, like one of the silver metal ones that's really skinny.
So it wasn't sealed. It had a little opening.
I got back from my trip and we were going to move out because the bug problem and the mold was so bad in this basement apartment. And I went and was packing up my shit. The whole bottle, which was about a third full with triple sec when I left, hundreds of silverfish were in the bottle. They had crawled up through it because it was like sweet or whatever. It was the grossest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, those poorer spout things are not the same as a wine bottle stopper.
No, and they
Or
are not for
a
storage. Yeah. Honestly, like, nobody needs those in their house. The only reason I have ever had those is because I stole bottles from bars that closed that I was working at.
pretty
and they
sure that's
had
why I
the
had
stoppers in
it.
them. Yeah. Like, don't fucking use those spout things at home. You don't fucking need it. They are for a controlled pour in a bar setting where you're pouring drinks quickly and you don't want to like
We
overserve
have like
your
an
guests.
aerator pourer thing
That's
for
fine.
wine
For wine.
at home, but you have
Absolutely.
to remember to take it out at night.
Well, I
If
was
you're-
a really cool 20-year-old who had
You were
barware.
so cool. So cool. So when liquor is exposed to daylight over a long period of time, it can lose color. And for liquor, color changes are indicative of flavor changes. Similarly to that, temperature changes can degrade an organic molecule called a terpene, quote unquote, which alters the liquor's flavor. So light and air and temperature will
And
fuck up
silverfish.
and silverfish will fuck up the flavor of your booze. So air exposure over long periods of time leads to oxidation of liquor, and that will affect the flavor. It will make it gross. That said, if you store hard liquor at moderate temperatures away from direct light, it lasts indefinitely. At 30 to 40%, like ABV, liquor is not a hospitable environment for bacteria. So that's why the concern isn't toxicity. It's just about, it's going to taste
Flavor.
gross.
Ishiness.
Yep. If it's not opened, you will deal with basically no oxidation at all. Once you open a liquor bottle, oxidation immediately begins. That also includes wine. So like part of the reason why some people, like some wines are so good after you let them breathe, quote unquote, for a while, it's because it started the oxidation process, but decanting only does a little bit of that oxidation. You're drinking it in that sitting. It's not oxidizing for days, weeks, months on end. So it just affects the flavor enough to improve it before it's going to go bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's why most
skunky.
Exactly. That's why most hard liquors will, quote, go bad within a year or two after opening. But again, when we say bad, we don't mean they grow mold, become toxic, or coagulate. What we mean is that the amount of oxidation degrades the flavor and quality to such a degree that you may as well not bother drinking it. But you can if you want. It's not going to kill you. So now we have all that information. We can store our liquor properly in our bunker. And I recommend enjoying this episode today with the Kentucky Monthly's Doomsday Cocktail.
Oh my God.
Do you
love
subscribe to
it.
Kentucky Monthly?
What?
It looks good too.
You should. It's a good little, from what I saw online, it's a fun little publication.
Yeah.
So the ingredients are 2 ounces of rum, 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, 1 ounce of simple syrup, which is very easy to make. It's literally sugar and water. A 1/2 ounce of Fernet, which is not usually a go-to for me,
No.
but I think it'll balance out the rum, and also
does
you
it
have the
taste
lime.
like?
It's
Ass.
kind of like it's kind of like an herbaceous dark liqueur.
It's like anusy, anise.
Yeah, anise. Yeah, it's kind
Okay.
of like
So I would leave that out. Not my fave.
yeah. Or it's
you
only a
would
1/2
not like
ounce. You also use fresh mint in this, so that's gonna balance any of the like bitter herbal notes of the Fernet. So you put mint leaves in a shaker with simple syrup. You muddle it until the mint is like aromatic. If you could smell it really easily, then you know you've muddled it enough. You don't want to over muddle any of your juice or your fruit or your herbs because they'll just turn to mush and it'll be really gross. So don't over muddle. That's a big mistake. Then you put ice in your shaker. You add the rum, the lime juice, and the Fernet. Shake it up until the outside of the shaker is frosted. Strain it into a low ball or like an up martini glass, and you're good. You can do it up or
Fun.
over ice.
Love it.
So good.
It's very not a mint julep. What are they
yeah.
called?
Yeah, it is kind of like a mint julep.
A little bit. It's like a mint julep, but with rum, basically.
Rum and Fernet.
Yeah.
It sounds
Yeah.
really good, and it's totally on my list to try, which is why I want to share it, but alas.
A mojito
So anyway-
is what I was trying to think
Yes,
of.
it's
It's like a
kind of
mojito.
Mm-hmm. Totally. It's basically exactly a mojito without a sugared rim and adding Fernet.
And no like
so good.
soda water, but yeah.
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 Cool.
So there you go, everybody. I hope that you try out this cocktail recipe and please tag Wine and Crime in your pictures of it because I bet it looks really cute.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I could see
right.
it in a cute little derby glass.
Right?
Mm.
Yeah.
All right, Lucy, what is our background and hopefully psych for Doomsday Preppers?
You know, I really don't have a lot of psych. Well, okay, I'll shake it just for the cute noise.
Cute. My favorite noise.
Your favorite noise. Okay. Doomsday is a day of final judgment, a time of catastrophic destruction and death.
Luck.
In the Christian religion, Doomsday is the last day of the world on which God will judge everyone. Everyone. No one is safe. The theme of Doomsday and Apocalypse and Armageddon and the final judgment goes hand in hand with religion and can be taken quite literally by religious cults.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, they
Of
love
course.
picking dates. Cults love a calendar.
They love a
That's
calendar.
another reason why Lucy has to watch Parks and Rec is for the reasonableists who are waiting for Zorp, and they go to
They rent the park
to rent
like
the park.
every year because they've like
They
picked the
keep getting
date.
the date wrong.
For Doomsday?
Yes. So they
So
rent
fucking
the park.
funny.
And then they're like, nope, we got the date wrong, but we were recalculating. And Leslie's like, okay, just let me know
Zorp
what
the
date.
surveyor will eat your face.
We'll also get to getting the dates wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is from shiftblog.com. Religious cults often incorporate an apocalyptic view of the future related to the promise of salvation through the belief in a divine entity. They often result in septs, where only a limited number of adepts are accepted. So, you have to be
Seps
You
or
gotta-
sects?
septs with
That's
a P.
weird because in my research, it all said sects with a C.
I think they're different words.
Yeah. I didn't know there was a difference.
Sounds similar.
Well, an adept is someone who's qualified to get to that level. So you got to earn enough tickets to get to the level where you can be saved. Is
It's like an
essentially
MLM.
what it's. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they are requested to bring on a specific proselytization. So the sociologist John Laughlin introduced for the first time the expression of doomsday back in 1966 while he was leading a study on some members affiliated with the Unification Church of the United States. And later he reported his analysis in a book called Doomsday Cult, a study of conversion, proselytization, and maintenance of faith. I never know if I'm saying that word right.
I feel like doomsday as a word has existed for a lot longer than that.
The 60s, but maybe just grew in popularity connected to this specific area of study in the 60s.
Yeah, I think if it's as a sociological
Concept.
term. I don't fucking know. It's from a blog. I don't know.
Okay.
It's also important to note here that not all religious doomsdays mean the end of the world. Some of them just kind of mean a transition of eras. So like I said, most Christians believe in Armageddon because it is mentioned in the book of Revelation in the New Testament of the Christian Bible. Within that group, we've got Jehovah's Witnesses, Seventh-day Adventists, and Branch Davidians. Ever heard of them?
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, we have.
They were
Even
big into the
creepier
apocalypse.
than I was expecting.
way creepier.
Christadelphians and Mormons. There are also themes of doomsdays in Hinduism, Islam, Judaism, a lot of Nordic traditions, and others. The Mayans also are alleged to have predicted that the world would end on December 21st, 2012, which is not exactly true, and it obviously didn't happen.
Right.
I don't know. We've been in kind of a fucked timeline, but
I mean, the world is obviously going
fucking
to
shay.
cease to exist at some point.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me that most organized religions or even just schools of thought of
Whole societies.
societal
if
thought
you know
would,
that everything dies, it's
Yes.
the one constant, then it makes
Yep.
sense to extrapolate from there.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
people are going to build ideations and ideologies around this concept that's just universally known and accepted.
Yes, and like I said, it's not all about the death of something, the end of something. It's just a new, potentially a new cycle.
Well, yeah, the
Yeah.
fucking the Hail Bop cuties. They were just gonna leave their earthly vessel
Yeah.
and transition
To a
to
heavenly
their
vessel.
to their heavenly vessel.
Well, that's basically the same fucking thing that Christians believe.
exactly.
Yeah. There are a
It's
lot of
rebirth, baby.
common threads here.
Yeah.
Also, I forgot about the guy in China who fully built an ark to
Yeah.
prepare for December 21st, 2012.
We will get to the ark building.
Oh,
Yes.
thank
But
God.
not this guy. I don't know about this guy in China. My guy is in Canada.
Okay.
My guy also has an ark, but it's not above ground.
Neither's mine. Oh my God. Did we do the same guy?
No, my guy's Russian.
Okay.
You'll love it.
Woo! Also, we were in Mexico in Tulum on December 21st, 2012, and it was a fucking trip.
Cool.
There was a big music festival down the beach, but all you could hear where we were was the bass, a rhythmic thudding.
Ooh.
Oh, so spooky.
Cool.
I cried a lot that day.
I'm sure. Somehow this
It
shocks
was
me
so
0%.
fun. I cried a lot that day.
It was amazing.
Gotta get it out.
I cried constantly.
Okay, UFO religions often cite the end of the world / the arrival of alien civilizations that will lead to a new reality, # Heaven's Gate, for example. There is some crossover of religion and politics that will incorporate the end of the world, such as Jim Jones's People's Temple, which was religious and also a socialist communist situation.
Yep.
So
That's
it's like
like we'll talk about that, I'm sure, but that's like cult 101. Like collective living off the land, rejecting capitalism, which are all things I love.
Not living off the land.
Well, maybe not that, but like the slippery slope from this whole like, look at this community.
Yeah.
We all support each other.
To
There's no money.
Matching
There's no...
Nikes in bunk beds is
Yes. To poisoned Kool-Aid
Yeah.
church service is that pipeline is too slippery.
Yep.
I don't like it.
Yep. Also, something that I didn't know about, the Knights Templar and the Masons even have like some of those groups have really extreme apocalyptic beliefs. That shit is so weird to me. I don't get it. I want to get it.
like the world is definitely going to end. Mankind is definitely going to end way sooner.
Oh, yeah.
But like
Raccoons
the
will be
universe
running this
will
place.
live on. You know,
So
like
cute.
we're just one little blue dot. There's a lot of other
Exactly.
shit going on.
Raccoons and fucking cockroaches are going to thrive.
Go ham. They're gonna love it.
ham.
Love ham. Okay. The expectation of the end of the present age, human history, or the world itself is called eschatology. There's a whole ology about it.
Cool. Does Allie Ward have an episode?
I think she does.
Probably.
That's cool. Okay.
She's amazing. I love her so much.
Agreed.
So
Big
the word eschatology comes from Greek eschatos, meaning last, and logy, meaning the study of the last.
Ooh.
In a religious context, this belief is called apocalypticism.
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 What the fuck is wrong with me today? I can't pronounce
This is not
these
an
words.
easy word.
You picked a lot of very
Apocalypticism.
tough words to try to pronounce while sick. I will say.
Yeah, they're not coming out
not
of my
landing
throat
right.
very
It's
well.
okay.
I like how even when none of us are in a space to be able to drink, we still sound fucking drunk.
Oh yeah,
Because we don't know shit.
especially when we're on half speed by accident.
Oh my
That's
God.
my favorite
Then
thing.
Kenyon on half speed sounds like she is ODing on heroin. It's unbelievable. And I do not recommend the heroin, but I do recommend listening to us on half speed because it's very funny.
It can be very funny.
Okay, so apocalypticism. Apocalypticism
There it is.
usually also means that the end is imminent, like within your lifetime. Like, get it straight, shit's going down.
My
soon.
guy came from a place of fear about impending nuclear disaster, which
That makes sense.
is actually pretty logical.
Yeah, that's logical to me.
Climate
Yeah.
anxiety. Hi.
That's also logical. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here's a fun fact for you. Doomsday preppers, or as they call themselves, survivalists, exist on a spectrum, but they are numerous. Kenyon, I would call you a doomsday prepper.
I'm light on the spectrum. I'm there.
You're there. A January 2020 survey, January 2020, I thought that was ironic,
God. When the fuck was that?
found that 35% of the nearly 2,400 people surveyed said that they didn't need to buy supplies in the last year because they were already stocked up.
Yeah, but then you're depleting your supplies.
I think it was like, could you have lasted on your stockpile in
got
the
it.
last year?
Oh,
Yes,
then
I
yeah.
could have.
Absolutely.
It's estimated in 2013 that there were 3.7 million preppers in the U.S., comprising a market potentially worth of billions of dollars.
Damn.
I could not survive like the loss of electricity or water,
Internet,
like potable
TV.
water.
Mm-hmm.
But like
Then you're fucked.
with the supply chain stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the runs
You'll
on
make
toilet
it.
paper and stuff, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I have an amazing list of failed doomsday predictions, and this comes from my boyfriend, Encyclopedia Britannica. It was a list of 10, but these 5 are my favorite.
Uh-huh.
Taiwanese religious leader Han Ming-chen established Chen Tao, or True Way, a religious movement that blended elements of Christianity, Buddhism, UFO conspiracy theories, and Taiwanese folk religion.
all of my
not?
favorite things in one religion.
Great
Sign me the
cocktail.
fuck up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chen preached that God would appear on U.S. television, Channel 18, on March
market.
on March 25th, 1988. So maybe that was a national.
Okay.
To announce, so God would announce that he would descend to Earth the following week in a physical form identical to Chen.
Announced on television. Got it.
How convenient. I just don't think that television is the medium that God would use, but I could be wrong.
This
I
is
don't
the
know
80s.
God.
It's
I don't know her.
height of television. I don't know her.
I don't know her. I don't know what she likes.
The following year, Chen prophesied that millions of devil spirits, together with massive flooding, would result in a mass extinction of the human population. Followers could be spared by buying their way aboard spaceships, which were disguised as clouds, sent to rescue them.
It's like that new movie.
Amy Adams?
Is it Nope? What's
Oh,
it
yeah,
called?
Nope.
Oh,
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good
Weren't the
movie.
alien spaceships disguised as clouds? I fell asleep. I was not a
They
fan.
weren't disguised as clouds, but like could easily camouflage.
Yes.
Right.
The concept, you're close.
Yeah.
You're circling the drain of that concept.
Okay, Amanda, here's the one that you mentioned earlier. Haley's Comet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Heaven's
that's
Gate?
Hale-Bop. That's different. Haley's Comet.
Heaven's Gate was the Hale-Bop people. You already mentioned Heaven's Gate.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Haley's Comet, which is different, passes by Earth approximately every 76 years, but the nearness of its approach in 1910 created fear that it would destroy the planet either by a celestial collision or through the poisonous gases it was rumored to contain. A worldwide panic ensued, stoked by the media and such newspaper headlines as, quote, "Comet may kill all Earth life, says scientist."
Okay.
Oh my God.
Says some guy.
Yeah.
A group in Oklahoma tried to sacrifice a virgin to ward off impending doom,
Oh, no.
and bottled air became a hot commodity.
Amazing.
So we've just always been stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fucking idiots. I love us.
We always try to like capitalism our way out of things.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Which I realize is ironic coming from me bragging about how much I've stockpiled.
Yeah,
I
right.
do understand the hypocrisy.
She sees it, okay? We don't need an email.
That's the first step. Okay, so obviously none of that happened either. Religious leader William Miller began preaching in 1831 that the end of the world as we know it would occur with the second coming of Jesus Christ in 1843. He attracted as many as 100,000 followers who believed that they would be carried off to heaven when that date arrived. When the 1843 prediction failed to materialize, Miller recalculated and determined that the world would actually end in 1844.
Buy yourself a little more time, guy.
This
Okay.
was
Like the months fly by, okay?
I know. This is my favorite thing. This is a quote from one of his followers named Henry Emmons. Quote, "I waited all Tuesday and dear Jesus did not come. I lay prostrate for 2 days without any pain, just sick with disappointment."
Oh my God. Why is that a direct quote from my grandmother
Yes.
about like any of us?
I waited all Tuesday and Jesus never
I waited
showed.
a whole day. I ruined my whole Tuesday waiting for
In
the second
sick
coming.
disappointment.
So he waited
And
all
nothing.
Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday he was just prone with disappointment.
Well, at least he had the
Oh.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. He bounced back by Friday.
Ugh. That's rough.
All right, I got two more. Beginning when she was 42 years old, Joanna Southcott reported hearing voices that predicted future events, including the crop failures and famines of 1799 and 1800.
Big whoop. There were crop failures like every 4 years.
I know, right? She began
Big
publishing.
whoop.
Big whoop.
They like barely had crop rotation.
Yeah, I hear ya. So she began publishing her own books and eventually developed as many as 100,000 followers, believers.
Wow. That's
In-
a lot.
In 1813, she announced that in the following year she would give birth to the second Messiah, whose arrival would signal the last days of the earth, despite being 64 years old herself and, as she told her doctors, a virgin.
All right. Well,
She died before a baby could be born.
Good for her.
All right, last one. This is sad. Trigger warning, animal abuse.
Oh, God.
In 1806, a domesticated hen in Leeds, England, appeared to lay eggs inscribed with the message, "Christ is coming." Great numbers.
Conveniently, the hen wrote in English.
Great numbers of people reportedly visited the hen and began to despair the coming judgment day. It was soon discovered, however, that the eggs were not, in fact, prophetic messages, go fucking figure, but the work of their owner, who had been writing on the eggs in corrosive ink and then reinserting them into the hen.
You don't say.
Yeah.
And also, ow.
Ow, yeah.
Poor thing.
Okay, last but certainly not least.
Oh, God.
If you are convinced that the world is coming to an end and want to start prepping, I will now tell you how.
Okay.
Kenyon, take notes.
Here we go.
This is mostly from a website called primalsurvivor.net.
Oh, no.
Sounds credible.
Yeah, it is an intense website. Step 1. Remember that prepping isn't simply a set of steps to take. Prepping is a mentality. It means that you accept that a disaster could strike. It means accepting responsibility for your own safety and security and that of your family. It means being active in the face of disaster instead of passive. Take some time to research the most likely disasters which could occur.
Fun.
These risks include risks like EMP attacks, which I had to Google. I think it's electromagnetic pulse or something like that.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Basically, theoretically, it would wipe out anything with like a motherboard.
Oh,
So
okay.
it could completely disable the
that's
grid.
Computers, the
That's
grid.
fairly likely. Okay.
Yeah. China has all the capabilities too.
Yeah, this is like the evolution of modern warfare.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's taking out people's power grids, internet,
Yeah.
all that shit.
Hurricanes and flooding, earthquakes, economic collapse, etc. Yes, some of these threats are highly unlikely, but highly unlikely doesn't mean it won't happen. By accepting that there is real risk, you will be in a better position psychologically when disaster does strike. Okay, there's some psych. This alone may be enough to save you since you will be ready to take action instead of panicking in the face of danger.
I mean, I'd probably still
I
panic.
was gonna say, I'm building in panic time.
Yeah.
I'm in my panic room that I'm building in.
I really want a panic room, too.
Me too.
Yeah.
I want a fucking panic room
That'd be
real
nice.
bad.
Panicking is an evolutionary response.
Yeah.
I think you're allowed to panic a little bit.
Panicking is my favorite pastime.
Step 2, water should be your primary focus. You need it for drinking and hygiene, but how much do you need? The short answer is you need at least 14 gallons of water per person, which breaks
Per-
down,
Like how?
well,
per year?
I'll get to it.
Okay.
No,
That
like
breaks
per
down-
day.
Right.
How much water you use in a day right now is not the same as how much you would
No.
use
Yeah.
if you
Of course.
stockpiled water.
Yeah.
So
I'm just, yeah.
this breaks down to 1 gallon per day for 2 weeks for each person.
Okay.
However, like I just said, most people use a lot more water than this. So to be fully prepared, you'll want to aim for around 60 to 120 gallons of water per person, which would give you 2 to 4 gallons of water per day to last 30 days.
Yeah, that's a lot of water to store. I do not have that capability.
Well, then you should learn how to purify water, how to store water, and how to harvest water.
Ooh.
Step 3, food. Again, you should aim for a 30-day supply. So consider stocking up on canned foods, including meat, beans, fish, fruits, vegetables, crackers, oatmeal, cereal, powdered milk. You should also learn how to make powdered milk.
No.
No, thank you.
Peanut
I'll just
butter
die.
or
I'd rather
powdered
die.
peanut
I'd
butter.
rather just fucking die than even think about powdered milk. So next.
Jams and jellies, preferably in plastic
Yum.
containers, not glass, because it's lighter and it won't break as easily. Crackers, instant mashed potatoes, granola bars, red lentils, couscous, dried fruits, or fruit leather. For long-term disasters, stock these plus seaweed, freeze-dried stuff, honey, lard, different oils, because at some point it might just be about calorie intake.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Canned tuna in oil, because
No.
more calories. Ramen and pickles.
I'm out at powdered milk. Kenyon's out at tuna in oil. Absolutely not.
I already
But
said
honey
seaweed.
does last forever.
For
so
fucking
honey
ever.
is a really good one.
And has like healing and antibiotic and antimicrobial properties.
Could be a salve.
Mm-hmm.
So this food is only going to last so long, so also learn how to hunt and fish and forage and build a survival garden.
No.
Kenyan's just
No.
opting out of the apocalypse.
No, if we can't shop for it, I'm not doing
Yeah.
it. Bye.
I don't think I'd have like a very strong will to live in the event of like a real apocalypse.
Right. I'm
Like-
fucking diabetic. I am
Yeah.
out. I'm not gonna
I think
My
my
way for
try
realistic
that
time.
hard.
Yeah.
realistic prepping would be like a handgun and a fatal amount of heroin.
I was gonna, my prepping is a comfy place to die.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
no thank you. Mm-mm.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I do really love a disaster movie / a zombie movie.
Same.
Where there's like, you're like picking a vehicle and you're getting like
Strategies and
gas to like put in the vehicle and then you're like acquiring guns.
I like the early days of the apocalypse
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
But in reality, if I have like one inconvenience, I'm not gonna do it.
Mhm.
Right.
So
I'm not gonna garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna garden. Literally the easiest of all the things that are on this list. I'm not gonna garden.
I need to plant a garden.
That song. I love that song.
It's the inside of your brain is that song.
Yeah, a little bit.
Step 4, stockpile non-food items like toilet paper, scissors, buckets, lamps, matches, heating elements,
Now we're cooking with gas.
Yeah, this
Now
is
you're
Kenyon's
speaking my
fucking
language.
niche.
Q-tips, soap, gloves, aspirin, anti-diarrhea medicines. For
Oh,
some
yeah.
reason, fish antibiotics. Didn't really look into that. Underwear, plastic sheeting, weapons and ammunition. And Amanda, this is what I thought you were going to say. Don't forget about barter items.
Oh,
So in a large-scale disaster, you may
Gold
end up
bricks.
needing to trade stuff with other
Yeah.
survivors.
That's where your booze stockpile will be very, 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 very lucrative.
The best barter items are things you can make yourself, such as alcohol or herbal medicines.
Yep.
Oh, I would do a still. I would maybe get into that to barter for other shit.
Something that
Totally.
could potentially blow you up over just planting a couple carrots.
Absolutely with you
Yeah.
on that, though. That sounds way more fun.
When we were in South Africa during the early days of COVID and we were under like an actual lockdown with like martial law and whatever,
that was
and they banned the
horrifying.
sale of booze and cigarettes.
Kenyon barely made it. She needs her cigs.
I don't smoke.
And the next one in here without a pack of Luckies in her hand dies. You hear me, Loretta?
But we knew some people, like actually they were like French teachers at the school and they like needed their cigarettes. And so Zach was able, I don't know how, but he was able to like get a carton of like Marlboros or
It's
something.
like a black market situation
yeah,
for
he
a long
started to, like,
time.
trade them for red wine, which is
Yeah.
what we wanted.
Zach amassed his wealth by selling black market marbs.
Marbs. Gross.
Marb Reds. Marb Red 100s were really hot for him.
It was
Ish.
fun.
What?
He felt like Nucky Thompson.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, of course.
Bootlegger. Also, shoes and things like tampons are going to be big ticket items post collapse.
Honestly, the one big thing I can say for anyone who menstruates,
Cups.
get a cup before the apocalypse.
Get a cup.
I haven't had to purchase a tampon in 2 years. It's pretty great.
Step 5, plan an escape route. So some people buy an escape property, which is a little
I want
insane.
that kind of
A
wealth.
bug out location.
In the Midwest, we call that a cabin.
Well, you should at least have a bug out location plan and also a plan for how to get there and also a plan for how to get home later.
My bug out location is Kenyon's house, so
Yeah.
I got to make my plan.
Fair.
Also know that it's probably going to be safer to stay at home than to bug out.
Then to travel, yeah.
Yeah. Make plans with your family, have a communication plan, a meeting point, a backup meeting point, a list of emergency contacts and procedures for specific types of disasters, fire, flooding, earthquakes, etc. Have
That's
copies
a lot
of your passport.
talking to my family.
Yeah. And run drills. Make sure everyone's on the same page because this could happen at any
No.
moment.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Have you ever watched the Doomsday Preppers show?
No.
Oh, yeah.
It's so fun.
It's hilarious. It's really funny.
Well,
Those people are insane.
Yeah.
And I love all of them.
So it is, in short, it's never too early to start stockpiling for the end of the world, as Kenyon has shown us. Start practicing now by going camping and learning some survival techniques. Maybe meditate on whether you could mentally take another person's life to save yourself or your loved ones.
That I could do. Yep.
Yeah.
I could not camp. I could kill.
I could camp. I actually do really like. I actually like camping, but not for not for indefinitely.
Yeah.
I eventually need a structure with walls.
Yeah.
That aren't made of canvas.
I could glamp.
Corrugated metal. Glamp. Okay. All right. Well, that's my segment. I hope you learned something.
I learned a lot about myself, actually.
Yeah. My own limits.
It was a mirror in front of my face.
I'm defo gonna die real soon into the apocalypse.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we hear a quick word from our sponsors?
Yes.
Casco. You want to sponsor us? Sam's Club? Anyone? Any takers?
Gentle reminders for the new year. You gotta check in with yourself before offering help to someone else. You can't pour from an empty glass. You gotta
Put your own oxygen mask on first before assisting others.
absolutely. You gotta rest when you need to rest. Ask for what you need. It's not selfish, it's just what you need. And say yes to more things that make you feel good. Transport your mind to a world where you can relax and treat yourself to your deepest desires with Dipsy.
Dipsy is an app full of hundreds of short, sexy audio stories designed by women for everybody. They bring scenarios to life with immersive soundscapes and realistic characters. You can discover stories about second chance romances, adventurous vacation flings, White Lotus on anybody?
Oh.
And hot and heavy hookups. It's also radically inclusive, so that means Dipsy has stories for straight and queer listeners, and 56% of stories are voice acted by people of color. Listen to stories voiced by Sarunas J. Jackson, E.R. Fightmaster, and Luke Cook. New content is released every week, so in between listening to your favorite stories again and again, you can always find something new to explore. They also have soothing sleep stories, wellness sessions, and sexy stories that you can read if, you gotta keep it quiet. So let Dipsy be your go-to place to spice up your me time, explore your fantasies, relax, unwind, or maybe heat things up with a partner in the new year.
For listeners of this show, Dipsy is offering an extended 30-day free trial when you go to dipsystories.com/gals. That's 30 days of full access for free when you go to dipseastories.com/gals. One more time, dipsystories.com/gals, and treat your fantasies.
Treat 'em. Are we ready for my case?
Yeah.
No, probably.
I love this case, and there should be more information about this guy online, and there just isn't enough. I want more.
That happened with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't cover the same person,
Thank
but
God.
I feel like in the realm of Doomsday Preppers, there's a very specific type, and not much is known.
Yeah.
So I relate.
They tend to be a little
Reclusive.
Yeah, a little reclusive.
Yeah.
My guy kind of bucks a lot of the stereotypes, not all of them, but a lot of them. And we'll get to it. Okay. Also, when you Google it, so his name is Bruce Beach, but there's also a place called Bruce Beach in California, which is completely unrelated. So very difficult to Google.
Okay.
Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo.
Okay. So Bruce Beach was born in...
Ticket.
God.
It's one of my favorite moments of 2022.
That was so fucking funny. I don't even remember it was at our...
I said you had sex on a toilet seat for Body World's tickets, and Kenyon just goes, ticket.
A single ticket.
Yeah, I mean, you had to go with him, so...
Yeah. I know.
It's worth half of the value that you thought it was.
Listen.
That sex on the toilet.
Half at most.
Fucking worth it.
So Bruce Beach was born in 1934 in Winfield, Kansas. You said Kansas. Is that right?
My throat hurts so bad.
As a child, he was always a bit of an outsider, and when he was 17 years old, he faked his age in order to enter the U.S. Air Force. He had a passion, as you do, as apparently the Air Force doesn't check.
No.
Yeah, wait, what year was that?
The 30s.
He was 17.
So it's in the
17,
50s.
So in the 50s. Wow.
They
It's not like they had
needed
an
it.
online database, but
No, but they had
we
birth
had
certificates,
IDs. Yeah.
I think.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely we did.
Maybe they were just
Okay.
scooping up as many people as they could get.
Yeah.
From hiring a genealogist to do my family tree, they had lots of records way before the 50s. The 1950s.
So he had a passion for studying radios, computers, economics, and philosophy. And
No.
for someone with like that smattering of passions, he really like spent his life doing all of those things, I would say.
Wow.
Commitment.
After his time in the Air Force, which he spent mostly stationed in Greenland,
Luck.
cool, he married his first wife, Maxine. The couple had 4 children together, although one tragically died in infancy. During this time, Bruce worked, perhaps not surprisingly, as a fallout shelter salesman.
That would be the best.
So
What's
job.
that
fun.
Brendan Fraser movie? Is
Blast
it Blast
from
from
the
the
Past.
Flash
Past?
from the past. So good.
I rewatched it while I was on bed rest. So
Amazing.
You do
Holds
love that
up.
movie.
I love
really good.
that movie. And eventually he worked as a professor of computer science. Bruce and Maxine divorced in 1961, and not long after, Bruce was injured in a scooter accident.
Jesus.
Attention, Johnny
Oh.
Calamari.
Yeah, John, our editor, who we love,
Who we love.
gently crashed my scooter. Everyone is okay. This was a while ago.
It was a while
No
ago.
one is mad, but you got to be real careful when you're scooting.
Yeah, you don't have
I have
the
never
walls
crashed
and
my
bumpers
scooter.
of a car.
Yeah,
Remember?
always wear your
Jenny,
helmet.
remember when we rented scooters in Vietnam and you didn't trust Zach to the point where you rode on Corey's scooter?
Yeah, Zach had never. It was the first thing he ever drove. He'd never had
Yeah,
a behind
no.
the wheel at that
no.
point.
He
Not going to get on a scooter with him,
He
although I
wiped it a
eventually
couple
did.
times
not.
that day, I think.
Absolutely
Whatever.
fucking not.
Yeah,
No.
That was a.
and I couldn't
None
drive
of
it
us
myself.
had any business being on those.
No, they weren't even scooters. Those were like vests. Like
They were motorbikes.
Rickshaws.
Yeah.
They were basically motorcycles.
they had way more power than your average scoot.
Oh, jeez. Souped up.
Okay, so this scooter accident left Bruce bedridden for months.
Oh,
But-
God.
Disfigured permanently. That's a bad accident.
Yeah. But he spent his recuperation time reading, and by the end of his recovery, he felt he had found his true purpose in life.
Okay.
What do you think it is? Just guess.
Scooter racer.
Doomsday prepping.
Nope.
Bunker design.
Nope.
Predicting the end of the world.
Oh,
Nope.
tarot.
That, you're almost closer, but
Dance.
Oh, interpretive dance.
colder.
Yeah.
Cold. Okay.
Cold. Okay.
Firstly,
I give up.
he had discovered the Baha'i faith. Have you
Okay.
heard of this faith?
I've heard of it, but I don't know the tenets of it.
I don't know
really.
anything about it really either. I did like a brief Wikipedia's. Sounds interesting. Basically, according to Wikipedia, the Baha'i faith is, quote, a relatively new religion teaching the essential worth of all religions and the unity of all people. So this originated in Iran in the late 19th century. And I think they believe that like all the monotheistic religions are just the part of one spirituality.
Honestly, for this guy whose favorite thing is like learning about everything, this is pretty spot on.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing to stumble upon. I mean, it could have
Yeah.
been like men's rights bullshit. You
Oh
know,
my
like
God.
this seems great.
Could have been some Andrew Tate nonsense.
Right.
I
So-
don't know who it is. Who is that?
You don't know who Andrew Tate is?
I know
like-
all the hubbub about him, but who the fuck? What is he?
He's like a crazy men's rights turd
Rapist,
who got
asshole,
internet famous.
bald.
Yeah, he's disgusting. And
Did you know who he was before last week?
I only knew that he had been kicked off of Twitter for being an a-hole. That's all I knew about him before this week.
Okay.
And then, got caught up.
Anyway.
Okay, so Bruce, obviously he's like a curious, smart guy. So he's like finding all this stuff. Second, he realized that perhaps the biggest problem facing humanity was...
Scooters.
It's the 50s, 60s. Pot.
Bay of Pigs. Hot.
The, quote, world language problem.
Okay,
So-
the fact that we don't have one concise language that everyone in the world learns how to speak.
Yep.
That
The
is-
lack of a common tongue that would let us communicate in the wake of an apocalyptic disaster.
Interesting.
He did not see iPhones coming.
Nope.
Also, like, attempts at creating a world language have been made by lots of people over the
And
centuries.
have all failed.
They've all failed. One that had a pretty good run is Esperanto, but Bruce was not into that one.
I mean, English is pretty damn
I was
close to
going
a
to say, the
world
closest
language.
we've gotten is English because they teach it in a lot of places, but it's
Well,
still not
there's always
everywhere.
been like a lingua franca. Like for a while it was French or, you know, whatever. Like there's always like a
Everyone spoke
predominant
a little bit
language
of XYZ.
for trade and stuff, but like people have been trying to come up with like a language that borrows from the grammatical structures of lots of languages and is simplified and like, you know, more universal, but it never works because biases creep in and people aren't taking the time to learn it and whatever. So upon recovery from this scoot accident / epiphany moment,
Scoot Toot Riot.
Scooty riot. New boo scootin'.
Bruce joined a Baha'i temple and decided to devote his life to the world language problem and to also helping prepare humanity to survive an apocalypse.
All right. Let's fucking
Go for it.
At the temple, he met fellow believer named Jean, and the two were soon married. They had 3 children, and one of them was a daughter named Bahia, like after the Baha'i faith. And then Bruce would also experience a second tragic loss of a child when one of his children with Jean died in a freak sledding accident at the age of 8.
Ethan
Ethan
Frome.
Frome. I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
No.
Did she break the pickle dish? Is that the same book? I don't even remember.
I don't know. I don't think I read Ethan Frome. It was too shitty. Like I couldn't
Also, I
do
think it was junior year and that we had to read that and you were in France.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
Or maybe it was sophomore year. I don't remember. Either way,
Yeah.
that's really fucking sad.
Really
oh my
sad.
God.
Yes. So, and then he kind of, and we will get to it and not in like a creepy way, as far as I can tell, focuses a lot of his like preparing for the apocalypse energy on like, we're going to focus on the children and like raising the children. And I think that
'Cause
probably.
we believe the children are our future.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What?
So I think
like,
that probably stems from the fact that like 2 of his kids died.
Right. He experienced serious trauma around kids.
Right.
And now he's like, protect all the children at all costs.
Right. So Bruce and Jean and their surviving children eventually moved to Canada to live on a rural property that Jean's family already owned in the tiny Ontario town of Hornings Mills.
Horny goat weed. Yum.
Yeah, Hornings Mills. No thanks.
Ugh. What a great bug out location.
I
Hornings Mills.
I always think about, like, with town names like that, how annoying it would be to have to say it clearly to, like, a customer service rep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You said Horny Miller. Is that right? No.
It's like every time I have to read my email address, if I have to spell it for someone, it's like, it's so fucking long.
There's so many letters.
I just don't want to.
I'm exhausted.
Life is hard enough.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm done.
Okay, so this property was perfect for Bruce to begin preparing for the end times. He now believed that, without a doubt, the majority of humanity would be wiped out by a nuclear disaster within his lifetime.
Oof. Again, kind of logical.
We got close.
In the 60s.
Well, and I was going to
Yeah.
say, he started kind of ruminating on this in the 50s and 60s. So
Yeah.
this is like not completely out of
This is
the
blast
blue.
from the past.
Yeah.
His friends and family felt that this belief came in part from his time in the Air Force at the height of the Cold War, because during this time when he was stationed in Greenland, he had been instructed to be prepared for a Soviet nuclear attack at literally any moment of any day.
That's so scary.
This next part, I could not find more information about, and it's really perplexing, and, like, I don't know how this happened other than just the fact that, like,
It did.
white men
happened.
in the 60s and 70s just had every opportunity thrown at them.
Okay.
Like, I don't whatever. So early on in his time in Canada, Bruce received a roughly $50 million tax credit from the government,
What?
ostensibly for scientific research.
I will ostensibly research something for $50 million. Is that all it takes?
Can I ostensibly receive $50 million from the government?
Can I research the effect of $50 million on my life and
Yeah.
the life of my community?
It'll have a big impact, let me
It
tell
probably
you.
would.
I know. I don't understand what or how. Like,
How?
he had been a professor of computer science, and now he's building a bunker.
An arc.
But also, like, I think he's a naturalized Canadian citizen at this point. I don't know. $50 fucking million.
All right, bud, you got it.
So
Okay.
he used the money to buy and retrofit an old ferry to make it suitable for deep sea exploration.
Okay. I'm getting
Yeah.
Superior, Wisconsin, Duluth underwater hotel vibes right now.
I was thinking about the
From the Man Crimes episode.
guy who with the submarine.
So he
that fucking guy, too.
He was trying
the
to
murderer.
make the ferry into a deep sea submarine.
For deep sea exploration.
Like the
Which means
ferry would
maybe
go
it's-
under.
Yeah.
Or the ferry is at the surface and equipped with diving
Right.
Yeah. I don't
that's
know
connected
which.
to it.
I, again, could not find more information about this other than what I am reading to you right now.
You're doing great.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Bruce referred to this venture as the Canada Tomorrow Discovery Corporation.
That's
Ew.
not a great name.
Why are men specifically so bad at naming companies?
Yeah.
Ugh.
His plan was to use the ferry also to find sunken treasure,
Nice.
There it is.
which logically he would then sell to fund his plans to create a universal language.
Logically.
Okay.
It's all connecting all the dots here.
Yep.
Honestly, nothing has ever made more sense.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yep. First, I got to retrofit the ferry. Then I
Yep.
got to find the sunken treasure. Then I got to write a universal language. And then I got to sell a
If
fallout
I can't
shelter.
scuba, what's this all been
Yeah,
about?
Got
What
a
has this
lot
all
on
been
my
about?
plate, people.
Yeah.
And I'm still recovering
Tom's house
from my
was broken
scooter
into.
accident.
And then my scooter rolled 5 times, and then he had to go get eye
It was
surgery.
snowing.
And I'm under a lot of stress.
You could say I'm under a lot of stress.
My arc was broken into, and I confronted the burglar. And
We're on the brink of nuclear warfare. My kid died in a sledding accident. I don't
Okay.
know.
oh no,
He's all over the place.
He is.
he is. This man needs psychological assistance to recover from the trauma of his very real trauma.
Yeah.
And not $50 million
Yeah.
to build an ark and make a universal language.
Maybe it was ostensibly for mental health help.
I wish.
Got
So then he comes up with a new plan. So he loses all this money with this ferry and not finding sunken treasure. Go figure.
Wah, wah, wah.
So now he decides to build a shelter on Jean's property in Hornings Mills that was
Horny mill.
capable of housing enough people that they would be able to wait out the immediate aftermath of a nuclear disaster and then go on to, of course, repopulate the earth. And I imagine they'd be speaking the new universal language.
Got it.
Although it doesn't really matter if you're the only people surviving, you could literally speak any
Right.
language.
Yeah.
That would be the, whatever, it's fine.
Precisely.
So he referred to this project as ARC 2,
The streets. It's officially arc to the streets now. That's it.
Oh my God.
Okay, yeah.
In
The re-arkening.
In 1979, he purchased 42 disused school buses
God, what now?
for around $300 a piece and began...
That is a bargain.
Yeah. And
If someone offered me a bus for $300, I would, without any idea of what to use it for, would immediately
I know
buy
you
it.
would.
Yeah.
And
That's a you thing.
it was 1979, so time money
That's not-
converter.
Right. That wasn't no money,
Yeah.
but that's still a real affordable
Yeah.
price. And a bulk pricing of 42 school buses, let's go.
Yeah.
Who's your bus guy?
So then he begins
Paying way
this
too much for buses.
monumental project of burying these 42 school buses underground, about
Under the ground.
14 feet below the ground,
Yep.
and then pouring concrete over them.
Yep.
So
okay.
they're the bus bunkers.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you go on the drive, and listeners, we've had more questions about it. When we talk about the drive, that's just for us. But
But the blog, is for you.
on our website,
Yeah.
winingcrimepodcast.com, that has the blog page. It has all the photos for you.
Wow.
This is incredible, and I've totally seen some of these pictures before.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was this guy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Damn.
Mhm.
This is so much better than what my guy put together. Let me just tell you. Holy shit.
So this process took about 6 years, the concrete and the burying and the buses. As for why he chose school buses to build his ark, Bruce would later say, quote, "They were just inexpensive at the time."
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
buses made the form to pour the concrete. If the buses left today, it wouldn't make any difference because the shelter is here. It's built out of concrete and reinforced concrete. They were just a form that we left in place. So other people
Yep.
will do this with
Shipping containers.
Right.
And, yep.
yeah.
Like literal, like barrels, tunnels, tubing as
Yeah.
a plastic form, basically. They pour around it, and then if the form deteriorates, it doesn't matter.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Although concrete doesn't actually last that long. You get one crack and
Nope.
it's not the best
well, and it's
material.
porous. So if you get leaks, you're in big trouble.
Whatever, he had bigger fish to fry. So after the basic structure was in place, Bruce began recruiting friends, family members, and strangers to become part of his plan. He was constantly brainstorming the best ways to unite people who survived the inevitable nuclear blast in order to restart society together. I think that's where like his heart really was like making
Saving
plans,
society.
Yeah, for a new society.
He's really into this language.
Well, and it's, he
It's
started
part of
working
his
on
faith.
this.
Like his
part
faith
of his
is
faith.
that all religions are one spirituality, one religion. Like he wants to bring people together.
Yeah, he's a unifier. And it's 79 that he started this project. So he's entering into the era of the internet where he could really connect with other like-minded people who want to go into his bunker. Lock.
Bunker Buds.
Bunker buds.
Bunkerbuds.net.
Bunkies.
God.
So Bruce would spend
.net.
the next 40 years building out the interior of the bunker, which had the capacity to provide shelter for up to 500 people.
Dang.
Fuck.
It covered over 10,000 square feet, making it the largest privately built bunker in North America.
Yeah, because they won't give us the stats on the president's bunker. You know it exists.
Oh, yeah. There are probably several.
Yeah.
It includes 2 commercial kitchens, full plumbing, a radio communications center, a chapel,
Ugh.
a decontamination room. Oh, speaking of, oh my fucking God. How
Speaking of decontamination,
Yeah, no, literally.
Breastfeeding room.
fucking a lactation space. No, it does not. But
every space is a
It
lactation
should,
space. Yeah.
right?
When you whip those titties out enough.
Ooh. Okay, so the decontamination thing. Oh my God. So my mom and my uncle were here in Louisville visiting over the holidays, and we went to Angel's Envy Bourbon Distillery one of the days for a tour.
Yeah.
And we're up and, the tour guide is showing us the big tanks where they, distill this and the malt and what, I don't even fucking know. All
What did she
the
do?
bourbon stuff, right?
What did she do?
And people are asking bourbon-related questions.
Oh, God.
Because it's a
Because
fucking
it's a tour
bourbon
in
tour.
a bourbon distillery. Yeah.
She raises her hand. First of all, no one's raising their hand. There are literally 10 of us.
Just ask.
And she points to the corner where they have one of those, like
Like an eye wash and
Yes.
shower, emergency shower.
yeah, an emergency eye wash station and shower.
Yep.
And she goes, what kind of accident would that be for? She wanted, she knew what.
What's the worst thing you've ever done?
She knew
That's a
what
me
it was.
question.
I know.
Yeah, you fucking creeps.
And the tour guide was like, no one has ever asked me that before. But she's like, I'm just wondering, what could get on you that you would need to decontaminate from? And he was like, I guess the cleaning chemicals.
Yeah, and if you get hot fucking malt and mash in your eyes, you're gonna want to fucking rinse it out.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's gonna kill you,
Completely
but
legitimate question.
I'm
with her, and
bourbon
I'm
tour.
curious. Yeah, I'm curious now.
It was fucking
what was
hysterical.
the last accident that you experienced that
days?
required the eye wash?
I'll email them. What's it called?
Angel's
Envy. Oh,
What
Good
if I
bourbon.
emailed
Good
them?
Literally
rye.
didn't
Really good rye. Okay. So, decontamination room, a reception area with, quote, cubby holes for firearms,
Lock. Everyone gets their own cubby.
Just get a
Cute.
swimming pool.
a dentist chair,
Oh,
Yeah.
just in a room.
yeah, and a mortuary. Hopefully not in that order.
Oh God.
He thought of a lot of things.
Yeah.
The mortuary is key, and we'll kind of get to it in my case.
Yes.
So one feature that Bruce was especially proud of was a collapsible weather balloon deployed antenna that was capable of being launched from within the shelter. So he could literally boop, poke up and check out the
Fuck.
surface.
Send
Cool.
signals, and this is amazing.
Little groundhog.
I want to move in
Little
here.
meerkat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Periscope.
Bruce stated on numerous occasions that the shelter was meant to be, quote, run by women to raise and protect children in order to help rebuild a society after a nuclear bomb.
But we're
And
not good for anything else, so that makes sense.
right. And it features at least one specified women's bathroom.
Oh, okay, good. We got one.
Yeah, the children thing. Yeah. The fact that a large percentage of the population was expected to be children was clear from many of the Ark's features, including smaller sinks and toilets in some of the bathrooms. I'm picturing at our elementary school,
Yep.
the foot pedal,
Yep.
tiny children
Cubbies that don't have guns in
yeah,
them.
non-firearm cubbies.
Cubbies.
Children's play areas, child-sized bunk beds. And he said that his
little creepy.
plan was for the kids to sleep 12 hours at a time and then change sleeping shifts. So,
Good luck, Bruce.
yeah, tell me how, Bruce.
Yeah, sleep training expert, Bruce.
He was also clear about prioritizing children at the expense of adults, stating, quote, we're going to say to people, well, we have room for your children, but we don't have room for you. That's the nature of life. This is the lifeboat.
Logically, I do get that, but this is real creepy.
I love how brutal
he's
it
like,
is.
I just want to build my bunker and fill it with children. Only children.
Women
I know.
and children.
Yeah, I know. It does sound a little
It borders
creepy.
on a little creepy.
Yeah, I didn't read anything about
Yeah.
he seemed like a great dad and his kids really loved him.
No, he's not trying to diddle kids.
Right.
He's just obviously very hung up on protecting the children.
Yes, trauma.
Yeah.
So even after the Cold War ended, although now it's starting up again, Bruce remained steadfast in his belief that all his work would be necessary. His close friend, Paul Kell, who would eventually make a documentary about Bruce, but I don't think it's out yet, has stated, quote, "I think after the fall of the Soviet Union, a lot of people thought the threat of nuclear war was over, but Bruce never did. He was convinced there would be a nuclear holocaust, with the first domino falling between Pakistan and India, and then the world would erupt from there." While it is not known exactly how much money Bruce Beach spent on his ark, it was a fucking lot.
Yeah, it had to have been.
His daughter, Bahia, I'm not sure, would later joke, quote, "My entire inheritance is sitting in that thing."
She's probably not far off.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dad.
What do I do with this?
Bruce was not alone in his devotion to the Ark 2. People from all over who heard about it would show up to work on the bunker on a regular basis, and Bruce would hold Doomsday Prepper gatherings with hundreds of supporters on the property every summer.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he has like cons.
Oh, yeah.
Cons.
Fucking DoomCon.
People would
Doom
also
Fest.
just like show up and he would give them a tour as long as they like pitched in with some manual labor.
Yeah, it's like a co-op.
Yeah. So he's not your typical doomsday prepper because he was like an outspoken critic of a lot of the like prepper ideology that is more individualistic because he was all about the collective.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was constantly in conflict with local politicians and firefighters.
I wonder why. I wonder.
Who had declared that the bunker was not safe for human use because it was not built to code.
No. Is he, I mean, he had to have worked with like architects or engineers, or did he just like figure it out himself? All of it?
Doesn't he sound like it?
Didn't he have a background in engineer stuff? He seems like he's just completely self-taught.
Yeah.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, jack
master
of all trades guy.
Who knows?
I mean, he knew about radios.
Yeah, okay.
How hard could it really be, honestly?
Listen, he fucking pulled it off. This structure is actually quite impressive and incredible, but I'm just curious.
And it's not like 500 people ever lived in this thing. Like,
No.
you know, it could have.
He never actually had to
been
put it,
full
like-
of flaws. Like, we don't fucking know.
Right, he hasn't put it to the ultimate test.
it wasn't up to code.
Yeah. So, according to one acquaintance, quote, "The fire chief would go out there and weld the arc shut, and he wasn't even out of the driveway when Bruce would be up there cutting the weld off."
Love
Like,
that.
what are they
Can't
gonna
keep me
do?
from my
art.
They can't dig up his 42 concrete school buses out of his yard.
It's too big.
You know,
they
the
couldn't.
most they can do is weld the door shut, and he can
Try
just
to,
weld
yeah.
it off.
At what point does the government just let him have it? Just
Right?
whatever. He's trying to help you. Well, your kids anyway.
Yeah.
So his daughter has said in interviews that she and her siblings had a, quote, "very normal childhood," aside from her dad being unwavering in his belief that the world was going to end in his lifetime. He did do the thing of like predicting dates and then they wouldn't happen and then he'd recalculate.
They just can't help themselves.
You'd like to have a countdown clock.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of New Year's Eve.
Listen, I love deadlines. Okay,
Yeah.
I thrive on a deadline. I will never get this bunker done if I don't know when the world's gonna end.
There you go. You need the urgency.
Yep.
It's really just for me.
Yep, it's personal. I get it.
So I just need the accountability, okay?
Yep. I need the external accountability of a timeline. Yep.
That's what the
time.
Mayans said when they made their calendar.
You know, we as a society just really need the
There needs to
accountability.
be an end date, or this is just going to go on forever.
Or what's this
Yeah.
all been about?
What has it been about?
So in the end, Bruce was wrong, at least thus far at the time of this recording, December 31st, 2022.
Is he still alive?
He did not live to witness a nuclear apocalypse, but passed away following a massive heart attack in just May of 2021.
Oh.
Was he in the bunker or was he above
He
ground?
was, I believe he was in his home above ground on the property.
Okay.
He was 87 years old.
Aw.
In his older years, Beach had an active YouTube channel.
No.
Oh, there's like nothing worse than an active YouTube channel.
Of an elderly doomsday prepper.
We have
man.
an active
Yeah.
YouTube channel.
Yeah, I know. I said what I
Yeah.
said.
The last video he posted before his death was titled, quote, The time of the Antichrist is upon us.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
In the words of one obituary, quote, Beach died on May 10th, leaving behind an ailing wife, 5 grown children, a massive bunker.
An ailing wife?
That's
Who writes
really
that?
sad.
Yeah.
I know. Who did this?
Some half-finished plans for a new world and no instructions for how to carry on without him.
Okay, whoever wrote that obit, I don't think was a big fan. This sounds really sad.
I think they
The
were
last
trying to
part
be
was
tongue-in-cheek.
I guess.
Like, they don't, like, they're gonna, like, I think it was...
Right, we don't know what to do without you.
Yeah, trying to be, like, dry.
Mm-hmm.
I guess ailing wife is making it land a little less softly for me, but I get what you're saying.
Maybe she's the one who wrote it.
Maybe.
Friends and family say they have no idea what will become of Bruce's bunker because, quote, he never planned to die before the imminent catastrophe he envisioned.
Did he
Oh,
make
God.
a will or anything?
No.
Oh, no.
He left no instructions on what should be done with the property after he died because why fucking would he? He knew the world. He knew that he was going to live in the bunker.
Don't
my
do that.
God.
He over-prepared for one type of ending and under-prepared for...
The real inevitable
Yeah.
one. Oof.
According to his daughter, quote, we were actually thinking of selling it at one point, but then we thought, how in the world would we even do that? How do you put something
Seriously.
like this on the market to begin with?
Yeah.
What price do you put on it? We just didn't know.
That's where other people come in.
You get
to
a realtor.
advise. Get a
Do some
realtor.
comps.
Figure out something. I mean, maybe it could be made into like a museum or a tourist attraction if it's
An escape room.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? There's all kinds of stuff that could be done with it, but it would have to be reinforced so that it's actually up to code and like deemed safe for occupancy.
There could just be another prepper who buys it.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know how these preppers get this much money, but they do, man.
Yeah. They hoard it.
yeah, they're masters of hoarding.
Or the Canadian government just pays them.
Yeah.
50
Randomly
mil.
to build a
That's insane.
treasure hunter. I don't even know. Bruce's friend, the filmmaker Paul Kell, has described the shelter as no longer fit for human habitation. Quote, I think the shelter's shelf life has since expired. When he started building it in the later 1970s, the expectation for him at the time was that he'd use it within a few years, hence the concrete.
Yeah.
So Kell plans to release his documentary about Bruce titled The Dawn Sayer.
Ooh,
Sounds
okay,
like a video
drama.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the coming year. In the film, in addition to the story of Arc 2, Kell focuses on a number of inventions that Bruce made just in his spare time, probably when it was too cold in Canada to like dig.
in the bunker.
Yeah.
yeah.
Including what he believes should be recognized as the world's first portable computer.
You don't say.
So
Oh.
this guy is claiming that Bruce Beach made the world's first like laptop, essentially.
Oh, okay.
It was called the Light Writer, and he made it in 1973. It was 15.5 pounds and came in a briefcase that had a modem and a portable keyboard.
Well, shit.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Badass.
Take that, Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Bruce had reportedly lined up a deal with Xerox to mass produce the Light Writer, but the deal
No
was
way.
killed by IBM, and the Light Writer never made it to market.
I wonder if they're kicking themselves now.
Ooh.
I don't think.
Shouldn't have walked away from the light writer. You could have been the next Apple.
Yeah,
You fucked up.
Xerox is kicking themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, according to Kell, quote, Bruce could have very well have been a Steve Jobs-like figure or an Elon Musk type.
Oh,
He
God,
said this. He said
save
this
us.
before. He said this
Yeah.
in 2021. But instead, he ended up basically living in poverty. There were a number of dreams that he came very close to realizing, but in the end, he was just a few lucky breaks away from infamy rather than obscurity,
Ah, yeah. That old chestnut.
with the exception of the fame he
Amanda
got from the
relates.
bunker. Attention at any price.
Yeah.
In addition to Arc 2, Bruce left behind his plans for a universal auxiliary language that he created called Angel Tongue.
Angel tongue.
Angel Tongue.
Wow.
A stripped down phonetic version of English that he thought would be easy for people to learn. Or maybe it's supposed to be pronounced Angel Tongue, but it's just
Maybe.
like super phonetic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm realizing the J is not pronounced.
He's
Okay.
they gotta stop naming stuff.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Reflecting on Bruce's legacy, Kell stated, quote, "Life never beat him down. That's something I always found very inspiring about Bruce. He was the world's most successful, most grandiose failure imaginable."
Oh,
Says your best friend.
my best friend. I hope someone says that
The
quote
most
about me at my
grandiose
funeral.
failure imaginable.
She was the most
Imaginable.
grandiose failure imaginable.
With friends like
And
that.
we loved her.
God.
And she was like a friend to us.
That is my case.
Wow. R.I.P. Bruce.
Yeah.
I'm sad you didn't get to see your dream of nuclear apocalypse coming.
I'm sad you
So
waited
sorry.
all Tuesday.
I waited
a
all
whole
Tuesday.
And then just died of a heart attack.
Yeah.
What a freaking bummer.
Wow.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy.
Well, here's to upholding your legacy.
Yeah.
To the Ark, too.
Angel
All right.
tongue.
Let's hear a quick word from our sponsors. Dehydrated milk.
Powdered milk subscription.
Powdered peanut butter.
Oh, God. Absolutely not. All right, great.
Hungry.
Ew. Okay, are you ready for my case?
I truly
Let's draw
don't
some
know.
parallels.
Bring on the
Yeah.
underground arcs.
Golly. Okay, so 2008 was incredible. We had Twilight Mania.
Mm,
Beyonce had her Sasha Fierce era.
yeah.
Barack Obama was elected president. Ever heard of him?
2008 was a banger year.
It was a banger. And the true Russian Orthodox Church, also known as Heavenly Jerusalem, was put on the map.
Oh, God. Okay.
Its founder, Pyotr Kuznetsov,
Kuznetsov?
He'll
Cut
just
his
be
nuts
Pyotr.
off?
Peter.
Cut his nuts off.
Peter cut his nuts off.
Peter cut his nuts off. Pyotr cut his nuts off. Was a bit of a character. There's a photo of him on the drive, and it'll be on the blog. And honestly, go look at it because when I think of a character, yeah.
Oh, no.
What the fuck? Is that him?
It's
Yeah.
Rasputin.
Yeah, he's
Rasputin
got-
never died. He lived
Yeah.
forever as a vampire, and he became Peter cut his nuts off.
Look at his
Yeah,
ears.
he's got some rah-rah Rasputin to him.
No.
For sure. Like, when I think of charismatic cult leaders, this is not the visage that comes to mind.
No.
But also, if Charles Manson could pull it off, I guess anyone can.
He's kind of, I mean, he doesn't actually look like Charles Manson, but there's a quality, there's a vibe.
There's a star quality.
Yeah.
dead
There's
eyes.
a Charles Manson star quality to him for fucking sure.
Don't like it.
Yeah, not great. So Pyotr was part of the regular Gesundheit Russian Orthodox Church, very real thing, but didn't feel like the church was Orthodox enough.
Oh, God.
And broke away from it years before this 2008 situation. So he had already broken away from the church and created his own more intense faction, the true Russian Orthodox
Was he like a
Church.
flagellate or something? Flagellant?
I don't know what that means. Flatulent?
People who whip themselves.
Oh, I don't think he did that.
Okay.
No. Some of the rules, though, included no consumption of processed foods of any kind, and that's mostly because he
Was a health
was
nut.
against. No, he was against barcodes, which we'll get to.
Sorry.
No television or radio, and no handling of money.
Okay.
So honestly, this is cult 101.
Yeah.
Like communal living off the land,
Isolate.
consumption of raw, healthy foods, cut off from any modern ideation by limiting or eliminating access to modern media, and controlling group finances.
Yeah.
It's like the most fucking cut and dry. What do they say on My Favorite Murder? Like, call your dad, you're in a cult.
Yeah.
Like, couldn't be more cookie cutter.
Yep.
But Pyotr also found barcodes, literally the little scanning codes on products, to be satanic and therefore rejected them, claiming they contained satanic symbols and, quote, the number of the beast.
Well, some of them do.
Some of them might. There's a SKU number on there. Fucking barcodes.
It happens.
Shit happens. Okay? The devil's number happens.
I've heard crazier things.
The mark of the beast.
Honestly,
it happens. Get over it.
Barcodes
happens.
are a little creepy.
They're a little weird. Only weirder, only one-upped in their weirdness by...
Tattoos of barcodes.
Oh.
Okay, ish, no. QR codes with your camera sketches me out, but I use them. Anyway, all of this just seems kind of silly and weird, but he also felt this the same way about barcodes that he felt about forms of identification, like passports or national identification numbers, which is the Russian equivalent of your social security number, which is more creepy cult fodder to have members reject their connections to society down to their very identification.
Yep.
Also, like,
And he was like,
citizen-y.
it's very sovereign citizen-y, and he was like requiring that people destroy their identifying documents.
We should do sovereign citizen crimes. I'm going to put it on the calendar.
Yeah, we
Put it
should.
on right now.
Please do. So when Pyotr left the church, he declared himself a prophet, established this intense structure, and started traveling around Russia to bring in followers. The true Russian Orthodox Church had about 40 members, including families and children. And it was pretty hard for me to nail down the timeline of like, we're part of the regular Russian Orthodox Church to we're following Pyotr to where this is going. But we do know that within a few months of his like his tour, that members started to join him, and that about 40 members had relocated to a little town in the Penza region of Russia, because there's a series of caves there.
No, don't like it.
Don't like it.
Wow.
Do you have pictures of the caves?
Yes, I do. It's not good.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Yup. So the logic behind having access to the caves was Pyotr's prediction of the end of the world, a prediction that he could make because of his exclusive communications with God. So he lured folks in by going around preaching the end of the world, and folks believed him, so they joined him out of fear and survival. And he was specifically targeting very devout religious people who are fanatics who are already going to be pretty vulnerable to this is a prophet who is literally the word of God speaking to me, and this is what God's telling me, so I'm going to go. Like, we know the drill.
Yeah.
This is so fucking classic.
Yeah. Why haven't we
not
done
even
it
funny.
yet? Honestly.
I know. Where is the wine coven cult? I'm charismatic.
I know where there's a
So-
cave.
Yeah, I got caves. I got caves for days.
Yeah, caves coming out of my ass.
Fucking my ass is a cave. So he informed his followers that the world would be coming to an end in May of 2008. Exact date, TBD.
Mayish.
Mayish.
Second quarter.
And that they, yeah, right after tax season,
God.
but before summer. That's where we're penciling this in.
Before everyone's schedules got crazy.
Right. Because like school's gonna get out. Yeah. Let's shut this down. So he's like, the world's gonna end in May of 2008. We need to gather supplies and prepare to go underground. So he had this great location with an existing cave system with this little village, like this very small, unassuming
The
village.
local authorities aren't gonna like do much about it. Yeah.
Yep. So these like 40 people moved to this small village in the Penza region, squatting in abandoned houses while they worked on this underground refuge. So for months on end, they were already living without any electricity, any running water. Like they were just living as though they were already in the bunker, but above ground while they built the bunker.
Fun.
Lucky for them, their leader, Pyotr, had been an architect and was able to plan and oversee construction of their bunker within the caves. It was, in plan, a fairly sophisticated setup with an area for eating, another area for sleeping, a ditch for water, both collecting water and, like, using it, as well as a designated area for human waste. The cave was then sealed off with like heavy sacks of sand, and then they like barricaded it from the inside so that no one outside could get in.
Oh, they were
You
in there.
eventually run out of oxygen.
It wasn't. We'll get to that as well.
Okay.
And in some places, areas of this cave system, and that they had dug down into it, were more than 30 feet below ground.
Oh my
so
God.
this was like fucking
No,
deep.
and
Basically dry
claustrophobic.
spelunking.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's very claustrophobic, and like looking at the pictures of the cave.
Filthy. Clean your cave, dude.
Yeah.
It's horrifying. It's really scary.
And like no vitamin D and just
none.
No.
You turn into mole people within like a week.
Oh, yeah. I referred to them as mole people a couple times in my notes. So they had been living in the village for several months in 2007, prepping for these caves, when suddenly in October of 2007, so it's the end of the year.
Just in time for Russian winter.
Yeah, literally, they disappeared from the village. So people in the village are like, where the fuck did all these weirdos go? And then discovered that they had moved into the cave system and barricaded themselves inside.
Oh my God.
Great.
They hadn't been too chatty about what they were working on while living in the village, and they were known to take sporadic vows of silence. So people were like, these guys are weird, but I don't think they expected the neighbors didn't really expect them.
Thing is such a classic culty thing too.
Yep. But the neighbors were not really expecting them to fully move underground. So people are like, wait, what the fuck?
Where'd all the weirdos go?
So there were at least 35 people in the caves, including 3 children under 12 years old and at least 1 infant. So this is a quote from a Reuters article. Mr. Cut His Nuts Off ordered his followers to burn their passports and go into the cave last November, but did not accompany them himself, saying that God had given him different tasks.
Y'all fuck off down here. I'm going to stay upstairs.
I'm going to stay above ground.
God actually wants, he needs me over there.
Yeah.
God wants me to have a spa day.
Yeah.
God thinks I need it.
Yes.
God booked me a suite at the Ritz-Carlton. I don't know what to tell you.
I have to go. The Moscow Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah.
He said, quote, God gave us cover and angels helped us, he claimed, adding that the tunnel was, quote, 50 meters in length and the height of a man. He also said that the sect had dug out a well and a toilet. So they have everything they need.
Yeah. One toilet for 40 people. Sounds
in a
great.
Dirt hovel. Anyway. After figuring out that all of these folks had moved underground, people were immediately concerned about the conditions in the bunker, especially considering there were young children down there. The cave system had no electricity or running water, and winter was upon them with average temps of about 15 degrees Fahrenheit in Russia.
Although I do think if you're underground, it's pretty well insulated. Like at least
It
there's
is.
that.
It's
not like you can start a you can't like start a fire
Right.
No.
to stay warm.
You suck up all your oxygen.
Yeah.
Also smoke.
So the Russian
Yeah.
and smoke. The Russian government deployed multiple tactics to try and coax members out of the caves and swiftly arrested Pyotr and placed him under evaluation in a psychiatric hospital, hoping this would also encourage members to emerge.
How could they hear about it?
Well, they would literally bring him to the bunker and have him try to talk to his followers to get them to come out.
Like a
eventually.
negotiator.
And the followers were like, no, they're making him say it. And they literally were making him say it.
Yeah. like this was their, I mean, they did this with, they had hundreds of priests come.
It is so much harder to unbrainwash than to brainwash.
Oh, yeah.
What's the word for it? Deprogram.
Deprogram,
It's so much harder to deprogram than to brainwash in the first place. Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Pyotr's arrest did not have the desired effect. Russian television showed part of an exchange between Pyotr and one of his doctors, which of course his followers would never see because they don't watch TV. But in this little clip, he says, quote, people come here with their own convictions. Some got messages from Santa Maria. Others got messages from our Lord. Others from their relatives. Do you understand?
No.
To which I say, no, I don't, Pyotr.
No, Pyotr.
No,
cut
Pyotr,
his nuts
no. His arrest and evaluation may not have coaxed folks out of the bunker, but it did expose Pyotr for taking the profits from members who had sold off all of their worldly possessions to enter the caves. He took those funds and used them to live off of, while he's not like living extravagantly, but he never went into the bunker and they sold off all their shit and he took the money and was just living above ground while all these people are suffering underground in the name of the Lord.
What a dick.
And then he never lived in the caves. Like he would go to the caves, but he didn't fucking live down there.
Who would want to fucking live down there?
No.
Not me.
So he took those funds to live off of and like never lived in the caves. Honestly, I just want to say for the millionth time, if you are a religious person or you find yourself right now in a religious sect and you're listening to this episode and any of these red flags are sounding familiar, I am here to tell you, you are being taken advantage of. You are being brainwashed. God does not have special instructions for this gross loser trying to get you to sell off your shit and burn your passport. Do not move into an underground cave. Just don't do it.
Or an above ground cave.
Don't do it.
We've
no
moved
caves.
past the cave dwelling.
Yeah.
Nope. We have apartments now. It's not necessary. So the standoff between like government authorities that had then been brought into this town and the mole people was relentless. They could only communicate by talking into ventilation pipes going down into the cave. So like the entrance, they had built almost like a little roof on parts of it and it had like a little chimney, probably where from their kitchen area so that they could have a cooking.
Okay.
They could have cooking.
Okay.
But they also had a series of tubes, just like the internet, to make sure that
they could breathe.
Yeah, oxygen could circulate
What
underground.
about light? Do they have light?
No.
Not really. Not really. Some candlelight and then I think some daylight got into the like vent holes on occasion.
But, like, not enough to.
I
No.
can't.
They're
deal
not.
with
They're
this.
not healthy. Light is like
It was
the
not good.
least of their problems. Yeah.
Yep. Members were not moved by the arrest of Pyotr, but rather emboldened by it, basically assuming that he was arrested for being a religious truth teller, that they were, like Kenyon said, they're forcing him to come here and try and coax us out, which, like, is true, but also
Yeah.
it's all bullshit. So the folks in the bunker made it clear that if the government made moves to forcibly remove them from the caves, they would use their stockpile of gasoline that was stored in the caves to blow themselves up, including the children.
Oh no.
And this is in 2008, so this is post-Waco.
Yeah.
Like, we've already had...
It can happen.
We've already experienced mass suicide cults. It's not good. So authorities are like, fuck, we don't want that.
And we believe
So-
the children are our future.
Are our future. So after making this threat, then the cult takes another convenient vow of silence. And out of fear of mass suicide, the authorities keep an eye on them and are like bringing priests to talk to them, but not deploying any other methods to force them out of the caves. So they live down there silently for months.
No.
And like I said, regularly priests would go to the caves and pray into the ventilation so that the people below could hear them, hoping to draw them out that way, but still nothing.
Oh
Months.
my God, these poor children.
Months.
Ah.
After surviving a brutal Russian winter in the caves, 7 members emerged on March 28th, 2008. The melting snow had compromised the integrity of the caves, and at least one portion of the system had collapsed. They didn't even have concrete. They were just using the dirt walls and like using rock and like clay to quote unquote reinforce the walls of the caves.
No.
It's just more porous material that they're
and
plopping
it's
on it.
Russia. The melting snow
Yeah.
is going to be the change in temperature. Oh my God.
It's huge. It's huge. It's a big problem. Quote, Penza Vice Governor Oleg Melnichenko said in a televised comment that the group's leader, self-declared prophet Pyotr Kutuzov, was brought from a local psychiatric hospital to help persuade the women, mostly women in there, to come out. He said the women, who were comprised of 6 Russian women and 1 Belarusian woman, emerged voluntarily. So now we've got 7 people out of like the 30 that were down there, carrying satchels with their belongings. Quote, they refused help and walked on their own for some 1.5 kilometers, so about a mile, to a nearby like church, prayer house. And they just went and sat there and prayed for like days and days and days and
My
days.
God.
Yeah. Quote, there's no reason to urgently hospitalize them, these survivors, because they're fine.
They're doing okay.
But-
all right.
Yep. But now officials are starting to freak out because the snow is only going to continue to melt and more sections of the cave are at risk of collapse. And there were dozens more people down there, including the small children.
And it's the most fanatical people because 7 people already did the split.
Yep. They coaxed 7 people out.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're absolutely right. The survivors are they're in tears. It's like the remaining people, not survivors, I guess, are just more and more devout to this heavenly Jerusalem. So on April 1st, 2008, 7 more members emerged. Also, 7 is like a very prominent number in the Bible. So I wonder if there was
Discussion.
something with that. Yeah. 7 more people emerged, this time with 1 or 2 of the children. It wasn't super clear. And also, I just want to remind folks that almost all of these articles were translated from Russian. So I'm like, doing my best, but there are definitely holes.
And if you have more specifics, I actually do want you to email us.
Super want it because this was fascinating. So 14 members and at least 2 children still remained below, with more sections of the cave collapsing.
Oh my God. Is there anything worse than being buried alive in a cult of dirt?
We'll get to it.
No.
2 days later, on April 3rd, Pyotr attempted to take his own life and was rushed to the hospital because he had come to the realization that his prediction of the end of the world was incorrect.
He waited all Tuesday.
Yeah, he waited
so
all
sad
Tuesday.
when the world doesn't end.
Yeah, they
I
just
know.
lay in bed for 2 days of disappointment.
So
There's got to be
He
a
did make
German
it-
word for that.
Yeah.
there always is. Someone get at us. He did attempt to take his own life. I'm not exactly sure how. I didn't
Looking
really
in the mirror.
look that God, yeah. But he was rushed to the hospital with like serious head trauma, so I think he was like literally banging his head like on a wall.
He's in
or
a
something.
psychiatric hospital, so like he probably couldn't get his hands on anything else.
Yup.
Fucking yikes.
He was not successful in this attempt, fortunately.
Oh.
And he survived to receive more psychiatric treatment and continued to consult with the remaining members underground, hoping to encourage them to come out. Despite the freaky conditions of this like whole fucking thing, reports were consistent that those who did communicate from underground were calm, cool, and collected. Quote, a published transcript of a conversation that reportedly took place between a negotiator and an 8-year-old girl living in the cave
No.
described the girl's tone as confident and happy. The conversation said, how are you feeling? That's the negotiator. And she says, amazing, the girl replied. And what did you eat for breakfast? He asked. Wheat kasha and bread with jam, she said. So like they're fed. She seems chill.
Sounds great. If she's not
Like-
being coached, then
Yeah.
I
Who kn-
love
but
bread
yeah.
with jam.
Who doesn't? But eventually, little by little, folks were emerging from the caves until there were only 9 people left down below. A spokesperson for the negotiation team updated the public around this time, saying the remaining members were still not cooperating or indicating that they wanted to leave. Quote, they have taken a vow of silence, said one of the negotiators. They are all adults and have been warned about the threat to their lives from the collapsing walls. So it's like, what are we going to do? They're making their choice.
Right.
But by now, it's May of 2008. The world still has not ended as predicted. Or at least not for everyone. So I'm going to read from an article in Russia Today detailing what had gone down. Quote, the last 9 inhabitants emerged Friday, May 16th, 2008, after the bodies of 2 women who died in the cave were allowed to be removed.
Yeah, you don't
my
want to be down there with
God.
decomposing bodies.
Fuck.
Yup. This is according to a local police officer who was part of this corpse retrieval mission.
Oh my God.
The officer did not say why the group left, but Russian news agencies cited authorities as saying they left after being warned they could be poisoned by fumes from the rotting corpses.
Yep, that's worse. Yep, you were right.
Yep.
It got worse.
Is
So,
that
yep, this
true?
is just-
Could you be poisoned by the fumes?
I'm not
It
sure,
can't be
but it's
good for you.
It can't be good. It's also
Googling
just
it.
reeks.
The bacteria.
This is my own little aside, but I just want to point out that the women who had died in the caves had been, quote, buried in shallow graves, but it was really just like they kicked some dirt over them.
Yeah.
So they were just decomposing in the caves.
Oh my God.
Quote, we could smell the stench through the ventilation holes.
No, Amanda.
That's how bad it was. I know, girl, you're not pregnant anymore. The stench is coming out.
Okay, so there's
Yeah.
methane.
Yeah.
There's
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
methane
yeah.
That'll do it.
that which can damage the brain and the heart, but it's
Oh.
not inherently poisonous.
No, but it's not good for you.
Mm-mm.
So this official says, as we pulled out the dead bodies, we suggested the others leave, and they agreed.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Our time
Cult
has
members
come.
who, yeah, it's over. Cult members who left the cave earlier, so a part of those 2, 7 groups of 7 that came out, told local media that the women had died, one from cancer and one from exhaustion / starvation. She was doing a fast, like a religious fast, and she died. And the bodies had been down there rotting for upwards of 6 months.
No.
Yeah.
The children were down there with the bodies.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's almost the whole time they were down there at all.
No, they were down there for a long fucking time. They went down there in like October of 2007 and didn't come out until May of 2008.
That's not
So they were
that
down there
much
for
longer than 6 months.
Right. Well, I guess. So they must have
they probably
died.
went down there. They probably started their fast and died.
One lady was already dying of cancer, so she probably went earlier. And
So
then
the vast majority of their time down there, they were with rotting
been
corpses.
with dead bodies. Yeah. And they didn't die like at the same time. So I think one died, and then like a month or so later, another one died. So maybe the one that they were smelling more was the more recently deceased, and the other one was a little more decomposed. I'm not sure. Didn't find photos.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Russia just
2008
always
in Russia.
takes it to the next level.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, I know we're not pleased with them right now, but
Oh, no.
Russia slaps. These
They're
stories are
wild.
insane. Yeah. So after everyone finally emerged, the cave system was blown up. It was completely destroyed by local government, mostly because A, it's way too fucking dangerous to go down there, and B, they didn't want like curious visitors, like morbid visitors to come down and then get
They
hurt
don't want
in it.
fucking teenagers like drinking and doing parkour down there.
Exactly. So they were like, fuck this. We're caving in these caves.
You remember Bliss Bleed Love?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And how he would
Loved a cave.
Yeah, he would just like do like urban exploring.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Acrobatics.
Yeah, parkour.
So Pyotr was court-ordered to continue with psychological treatment, and many other members of the sect received treatment as well, with most of them returning to just the regular Russian Orthodox Church and living fairly normal lives. Members of the nearby village were thrilled that the saga for the better part of a year, was over, because not only had they feared for the safety of the people underground, but they were constantly part of this huge news story. And their tiny village was always flooded with like journalists and camera crews, and they were fucking over it. They just wanted to get back to their normal, quiet lives. They live in this remote village for a fucking reason.
I'd be out there hawking
get outta here.
nesting dolls. I'd be like, who wants a snack?
Oh, yes. You would be in
money.
in every soundbite, every news clip. Yep. We know exactly what your role would be, and it would be flawless. Many former members moved to a deaf village in Belarus, continuing some of their true Orthodox traditions.
A what village?
A deaf village, so they could live in silence.
So they could continue their vows of silence.
Cool.
Wow.
And one family stayed in the village right outside of the caves and continued to live by the tenets of rejecting media, passports, and even electricity. And as far as I know, that family's still there waiting for the end of the world. They had like 2 of the kids.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't this nuts?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my
It's cut his
case.
nuts off.
Yeah.
That is fucking wild.
Wow.
Isn't it weird?
Wow. I love it.
Wow. I knew you would.
Cool.
All right. Well done.
Thank you.
It's a great topic.
Thanks
good.
to us for choosing this topic. And
Indeed.
we'll talk to you next week.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Wine and Crime. Our cover art is by Kala Yip, music by Phil Young and Corey Wendell, editing by Jonathan Camp. Check out our website and blog at wineandcrimepodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wine and Crime Pod. If you have questions, answers, or recommendations to share, email us at wineandcrimepodcast@gmail.com. Episodes are available on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, basically wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And if you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. It is the best way to spread the word. If you'd like to show your support, visit our Patreon page to keep this podcast and the wine flowing. Cheers.